Hey guys, welcome back to Puff and Louder. And welcome back to frickin' Finn being an idiot. Finn has just announced to the entire court, he's like, you know what, fuck the law. I killed her parents because I'm in love with her, which means that I broke 2 laws instead of just 1 law. Oh god, Finn, please, god. Alright, well, we know that what he's saying is true. He did fall, like, I think he did, like, love her, and he still does love her, but, oh, God. Let's just get into it. What? He's so disgusted. Lord Warner attempted to silence the crowd unsuccessfully.
フィンユークレス、君は自分が何を言っているのか分かっているのか？
もちろん分かっている。俺は混乱していない。ここにいる誰よりも冷静だ。真実を述べることを先制させただろう。だから正直に言ったんだ。彼女を愛していると。
政府の定めに反した恋愛は大罪だぞ。ユークレース商会の面目のためにも撤回しなさい、フィンユークレース。
God, I mean, he just confessed to it. You can't just be like, you can't say that. Withdraw your statement. Like, what?
いやだ。俺はもう偽りも隠しもしない。俺はキルスが好きだ。キルスのことを心から愛している。キルスを誰にも渡したくない。それなのに、俺は結婚相手に選ばれなかった。選ばれたのはフィッツジェラルド、ウォーナー・エヴァンス。あなたの息子だ。どうして俺じゃないのか、なぜ彼なのか、ずっと悩み、苦しんで、ある日ふと思いついた。彼女を連れ去ろうと。
Bruh, I'm disturbed at how much Finn probably thought this. Like, let's be completely honest. I think crazy Finn stems from a lot of, like, real Finn's feelings. So I think that real Finn might have actually thought this, which is really disturbing.
連れ去る。一体どこへ行くつもりだったのだ？
決めていなかった。そんなことは一切考えなかった。彼女さえいればどんな場所でだって幸せに暮らせると信じていたから。
Finn, you psychopath. Why are you explaining this to the court?
そしてあの日、連れ去ろうと忍び込んだ時、彼女の両親と遭遇してしまった。説得しようとしたものの失敗し、通報すると脅され。だから。
Oh, that's actually a really good excuse.
俺はキーフ・ティステラとミスティ・ティステラを殺した。
But I knew that he hadn't done it, but he said it with such conviction that it seemed to stab my heart. But more importantly, he loves me?
今言ったことは全て真実だ。だから早く楽にしてほしい。俺は
議員に次ぐ。この中でフィンユークレースの無罪を支持する者は？
Lord Warner looked at the assembly members. Nobody so much as raised a hand.
それでは判決を下す。フィン・ユークレース、ティステラ夫妻殺害および法廷外恋愛の罪によりお前を下界送りに。
Wait!
傍聴は許可されているが、君に口を挟む権限はないぞ。
You can't do this. I'm part of the family of victims. You need to let me speak. Finn didn't kill my parents. The murderer's still out there.
ほう。では誰が殺害したと？
I don't know, but it can't be him. Finn Euclid is innocent.
いいえ、俺は有罪です。
Why are you...
俺はあなたを愛しているから、どのみち裁かれなくてはいけない。あなたが掲げる正義に反した思いを抱いているから。ですから、これでいいんですよ。
Finn, but you...
フィン・ユークレースを下界送りとする。以上だ。
What? Wait! Finn was being led away by the police officers. The hall was unruly, but Finn left it as dignified as he could have hoped for.
キルス・ティステラ、こちらへ。君の無罪が確定したため、放免とする。依存は
Yes, he...
有罪だ。判決はもう覆らん。おとなしく受け入れろ。
How could you know that? You fucking dick. Your son is the one who actually killed my fucking parents, but Greenwood doesn't know that right now, so... Finn hadn't killed my parents. The trial had brought closure to absolutely nothing. So bad. It can't be. It can't be, it can't be, it can't be. Finn had been lying. He couldn't have done it. Finn didn't kill them, so why did they have to send him to the depths? He was probably lying about being in love with me as well so that they'd sentence him. Also, Finn, damn, like Finn, keep in mind that Finn and Krimu and everybody pretty much like that is like not a higher official, doesn't know that the partner gets sent down to the depths too, as like a member of the Hounds. So Finn literally was thinking like, I'ma confess right now and then I'ma leave you forever. Like, that's so messed up. Like, Finn, don't fucking do this to me. God. I don't want him in that primitive land. I won't let him suffer there. I'll get him back. I can still make it. They're still in session. Good. I looked for someone in the crowd. There. Lord Warner, do you have a minute?
君か。どうした?
I can't agree with the trial's conclusion. He isn't the type of person to murder someone. He would never have hurt my parents. It's impossible. Someone else must have done it. I request a retrial.
ならん。容疑者が犯行を認め、議会が承認した以上覆すことはできん。
But...
くどいぞ、ティステラ君。我々は忙しいのだ。一つの犯罪に構っている時間はない。
Oh, if I could just slap him across the face.
奴は下界に行き、罪を償う。本件はそれで終わりだ。
I can't overturn the conviction? I didn't want Finn to suffer for something he hadn't done. May I speak to Finn then?
彼と犯罪者と確定した以上、面会はならん。そういう決まりになっている。
I know that. That's why I'm asking you personally. He was a good partner to me. I'd like to say goodbye at the very least. I need that closure.
話したところで判決は
I know that. I'd just like to talk to him. Please, Lord Warner. Lord Warner considered it and eventually nodded.
拘置所には私が伝えておく。夕方頃出向くといい。
Lord Warner.
議長権限を行使した特例だ。口外はしないよう。いいな。
I know. Thank you so much.
愚かな。話したところで何かが変わるわけではないというのに。
Huh. Interesting. I'm surprised they didn't add more like spoilers in this route since it's like the DLC, but a few hours later. It was evening. I went to the detention block as bidden. I was no longer a suspect, and the police officer serving there treated me with improved manners. I had a vague and uncomfortable feeling that he was trying to make up for his previous behavior as he led me to Finn.
どうぞ。こちらです。
The door opened. Finn sat on a chair with both his hands shackled. When he noticed me, his eyes snapped open.
キルス。どうしてここへ
What do you think? To see you? Finn mumbled in disbelief and looked at the floor. He looked pained and extremely tired. They agreed to give us some time alone. Rest easy. I sat down on the visitor's chair and looked at him. His hands were tied to the chair. There were no marks on his wrists. He didn't seem to have resisted at all. Why? You're innocent. How I wished to hold his hand like he had done in the chapel, but alas, we were so close and yet so far. Finn, tell me, why did you say all that?
あんなこと
About my parents. I know you didn't kill them. Oh, picture get!
そもそも俺は許されない罪を犯しています。殺人罪を背負ったところで罪人であることに変わりはない。むしろせいせいしました。俺が背負うことによってあなたを無罪にできた。あなたの役に立てて俺は幸せです。
Finn, why?
あなたを愛しているからです。
Finn grimaced at me and continued.
あなたは俺のことを何とも思っていませんけど、あの場で言ったことは本心です。嘘偽りなく、俺はキルスのことが好きです。
Stop it.
下級警察官となり、あなたのパートナーに選ばれた。強い眼差し、揺るぎない信念、才能のない俺にとってあなたは憧れの存在でした。その背中を追うだけでなく、隣に立ちたい。足を引っ張るのではなく、手となり役に立ちたい。そう思って、思い続けて、思うだけではいられなくなった。
Don't say any more.
ずっとずっと好きで、大好きで、誰よりも近くにいたいと願っていた。この甘く苦しい感情はキルスにしか湧き上がらない。
This is...
俺はあなたを愛しています。
This is a serious crime, Finn. You're a police officer. You've arrested many others for their mistaken love.
ええ、だから後ろめたかったです。俺と彼らには何の違いもない。拘束し遠い地へ送られるべき対象なのは俺も同じなのにと。
The people are the country's foundation, and population control makes the foundation strong. The temple assigns a fiancé to control the population. A love that contravenes the great plan is therefore a crime. I always believed in it. I still believed in it. I could not question it. Again and again I had been taught how important a law it was. Finn had broken that law. He could be very stubborn. He wasn't going to change his mind, I knew. Perhaps we should have never met. I would have liked to change the past then, to find some way that would let him escape his sentence. I'm sorry, Finn. All that deliberation ultimately led to an apology. Finn laughed in response.
それは何に対しての謝罪ですか？
I'm sorry I can't love you back? God. I'm sorry I didn't understand how you felt. Let's be completely honest. All the feelings out in the open, you know? Oh, yeah, he liked that. I'm sorry I didn't understand how you felt. I always...
ねえ、俺はいいパートナーでしたか？
Huh?
俺のことを一人の男として見ていなかったあなたにとって、俺はいい同僚でしたか？
Of course. I couldn't have hoped for a better one.
そうですか。光栄です。ありがとうございます。
Finn laughed softly and looked at the ground.
俺は卑しい人間ですから少し期待していたんです。あなたの結婚相手に選ばれるのではないかと。でも無理でした。俺の元に届いた通知書にあなたの名前はなかった。下界へ行くのも存外悪くありませんね。望んでいなかった結婚をする必要がなくなりますから。あなたのことを思いながら朽ちていける
God, Finn, that's...
幸せを見出せそうです。
That's so depressing. So edgy, also. It's like angst. What are the others going to do? Like your family.
さあ、それを決めるのは俺ではありませんから。
It doesn't matter to you?
冷たいかもしれませんが、昔からずっと俺はユークレース家のお荷物でした。だから家族に対する未練はあまりありません。
That's kind of messed up.
さようなら。俺が愛した大事なキルス。
It's interesting because they say MC's name as Kirusu, which is like Cyrus apparently. But I mean, it's, I don't know, it's cool because they added their like voice name, in Finn's regardless of if you have the MC's name or not. So nothing useful came of that ultimately. Not that there'd have not that there'd have been anything I could have done if I'd known how he felt. Still, it hurt me that I hadn't noticed. He'd always been with me. I thought I'd known when he'd laugh, when he'd be in trouble, when he'd be happy. But in the end, I didn't understand him at all, did I? I returned to my family's home for the first time in days. My servant awaited me when I opened the door. I talked to her and requested solitude until I felt better. Then I sent her home. Before she left, she gave me a letter. It was addressed to me. The sender was Finis Euclase, Finn's father. Finis? No doubt he was writing to me about Finn's crimes.
冷たいかもしれませんが、昔からずっと俺はユークレース家のお荷物でした。だから家族に対する未練はあまりありません。
I feel like he's lying there. Like, I don't know. It felt depressing to remember what he'd said to me in the detention cells. I'll read it later. I put the letter down on the table and sighed. When I had held my breath, I couldn't hear anything in the house. No talking, no footsteps, nothing. It was all gone. I steeled myself and walked into the silence. My footsteps had never echoed in such a loud and obnoxious way before. The temple had been here. There was no trace of my parents where they had lain on the floor. All the blood was gone. It looked as though nothing at all happened. All the evidence was gone. There's still some blood here. They'd missed some of it. I could still find faint traces. I knelt to clean it up. No, I'll leave it here. Perhaps it was my father's. Perhaps my mother's. Either way, it was proof they'd been here. I should have been a better daughter to them. I didn't think they would just disappear like this. I wasn't ready. Water was dripping onto the blood. No, not water. I'm crying. I was sobbing, the tears rolling down my cheeks and falling onto the floor. My throat was burning with pain. I put my hands against my face, but the tears escaped anyway. Why? Why did this have to happen? Who had done this? Who had a grudge against the Testellas? I don't know. I don't know. Had I made a mistake somewhere? Had there been a point where I could have prevented their deaths? I learned how to fight so I could protect the weak and the people I love, and yet, perhaps I'd wasted my time if I couldn't put it to use. I'm sorry, Father, Mother, Finn. Well, depression begins. The next day. I looked terrible. The face staring back at me from the mirror was swollen and red from crying. Still, I had to get dressed and go to work. They didn't give you any time off? That's so ridiculous. Normally, I wouldn't have liked to go to work feeling so downcast. But if I remained at home, I knew I would cry again. Having something to do was good. Yeah, imagine being in your fricking, like, parents' house where they died. It's just awful. A tiny part of me still expected movement in the house, but there was nobody. Of course, I had sent the servant home. Servant. My father would sit there, reading the newspaper. My mother would come up to me, smile, and try to brush my hair. The memories were so vivid, and yet I would never see them again. I knew it couldn't last forever, but death can visit us like a sudden shower of rain. I realized that back when my grandfather died. I'm still a child, aren't I? I touched the chair my father had used to sit. I wish I could have learned more from them. I wish we could have had more time. I sighed and looked at the clock on the wall. Finn won't come to pick me up. I'll have to go alone. I'd lost so much, but I was alive. Allowed to live, more like, and I had to move forward. Father, Mother, see you later. Read the fucking letter from Finis, or whatever. Why would you not read the letter? Is it still there? I don't know. On leave? Why, Sir Cordova?
ああ、辛いことが重なって大変だろうからな。2、3日、家でゆっくりするがいい。
Honestly, yeah, take a freaking break. No, I don't need leave. I want to do something. Please, Sir Cordova.
くどいぞ、ティスティラ君。これは政府の方針だ。違反は認められんよ。
Policy? Sir Cordova nodded.
君も知っての通り、下級警察官は2人1組での行動が義務付けられている。今の君にはパートナーがいないだろう？本来の仕事ができないのであれば、ここへ来ても意味がない。おとなしく家へ帰りなさい。
I didn't want to just give in, but I saw no way to convince Sir Cordova to go against the policy. Very well. Goodbye.
うん。気を強く持つんだぞ、ティスティラ君。
Thanks. Oh yeah, just don't try not to get too depressed. I mean, your parents are dead, but whatever. I shut myself up at home. Morning, noon, evening. The colors of the sky slid by. Unlike the sky, my mood did not change. Generally, I moped and rolled around on my bed. Impassively, I waited for time to pass. Nothing improved. I didn't begin to feel better, and I couldn't find peace either. Still, I was unable to do anything. I seemed to be imprisoned in my room, bound by invisible chains. On the third morning, my empty stomach woke me up. I hadn't eaten or even drunk any water. The day before, I had hoped my mood would improve, but it hadn't. I have to eat something. I crawled out of bed, hoping to find food somewhere. When I left the room, I looked into the mirror. I look terrible. My hair and my clothes were disheveled. I looked, if nothing else, very tired. What would my mother think? I thought. I had a feeling she would have given me a long and exasperated lecture. We're not high nobility, but we are noble. You have to look the part. My father had said the same at some point. Let's stop this. I decided I wasn't going to shut myself in my room again. I decided I wasn't going to languish like that. Like the dawn, I had to change. I haven't eaten so much in a while. Hadn't been sure if I had food in the house. My servant had left me dried sausage and hard-baked bread. I was able to eat heartily. I wonder what I have to do to make something so delicious. The kitchen was the servant's realm. I was taught that the masters flat out did not enter it. I had seen others preparing food, but I had no idea how any of it was really done. I'd like to learn how to cook at least simple food. I looked at the corner of the table. The letter from the Euclases. Finally! I had completely ignored it so far. I can't keep doing that. I had to move forward. I had to read it. I took it and broke the seal. Oh, yeah. It was an apology for Finn's actions. They also wanted to apologize in person. It ended with a meek plea to contact them once I felt ready. It's not Finn's fault, and it isn't theirs either. Better late than never. I have to talk to them and tell them I don't hold a grudge. It was past noon when I went out. The town looked as lively as always. It felt insulting. Everything was the same as it had always been. The people, the streets, everything. The Euclases run a store somewhere here. What's that noise?
申し訳ございません。誠に申し訳ございません。お
Oh
許し
my
ください。
god.
どうか愚かな息子をお許しください。
この度はご迷惑をおかけし、本当に申し訳ございません。申し訳ございません。申し訳ございません。
Oh my god. What? There was a sizable crowd on the street corner gathered around something. It was difficult to pass by or through. I tried to look to the center of the crowd, and an old woman next to me sighed.
やだ、あの二人今日もやってるの？懲りないわね。
Again today?
そうよ。かれこれ2日。いいえ、3日かしら。ユークレス商会の会長さんとその奥さん。ああやって謝り続けてるのよ。
The Euclase Company's boss. I realized what this meant.
人殺しの親族が経営してる店なんて二度と利用するかよ。とっとと潰れちまえ。
I became angry. What's wrong with him? Forced to act, I pushed my way through the crowd. Oh, yes. The crowd was surrounding a man and a woman. The man was Finn's father, Finis. The woman was his mother, Elaine.
謝ったところで死んだ人間は帰ってこないんだよ。わかってんのか？
申し訳ございません。私たちにできることなら何でもします。どうか皆様お許しください。
This is ridiculous. The two had been apologizing for a while, just as the old woman had said. Their crumpled posture and tired eyes spoke of how long they had been doing it. As I stood there, they were prostrating themselves on the ground. I should have read the letter and come here sooner. It wasn't their fault. Finn hadn't even killed anyone. He was only lying for my sake. I shouldn't have shut myself in. I just assumed I was the only one suffering.
全然気持ちがこもってないな。もっと地面に頭を押し付けて謝れよ。
Who is this dude? An ill-mannered man was standing before them with his foot raised. Before he had the chance to kick them, I intervened. Stop it! Don't mistreat them.
誰だよあんた。引っ込んだろ。
I won't. I'm Krimu Testella, a rank 1 police officer.
キルス様、この度は誠に申し訳ございません。フィンがとんでもないことを。
It's all right. Look up. You did nothing wrong. Everyone, please disperse and stop causing trouble. You have nothing to do with any of this. I glared back at the crowd. Roughly half of them left, but the man and some curious onlookers remained.
無関係。笑わせてくれるぜ。俺はな、ずっとこいつの店で物を買ってたんだ。俺の金で犯罪者を養ってたんだぜ。気持ち悪い。底辺まで落ちるべきなんだよ。
You insolent! I walked up to the man and with a great effort kept myself from punching him. Instead, I glared.
なんだよ。
You're going to pay if you say any more. You have no right to torment them. Get lost.
おいそこ何をしている。往来で喧嘩をするな。君。
Oh, God. My colleague Senkabald's Ark and his partner appeared on the scene.
一般市民相手に何やってんだよ。気でも狂ったか。
Ugh. I'm perfectly sane. This idiot was abusing these two. It's his fault.
こいつ、彼らね。俺には君が暴れてるようにしか見えない。
Are you fucking kidding me, Senkabolt? Like, my parents just fucking died, and this guy's abusing, like, my friend's parents. Like, get out of here. Oh, no. I hadn't lost my cool yet.
まだってなんだよ、おっかねえな。そちらにいらっしゃるのはユークレース商会の会長さんだし、複雑な事情がありそうだ。まずはそいつから離れろ。
I took a few steps back. The man took his chance to hurry away. Ark sighed as he watched him leave.
君が剣を持ってなくてよかったよ。傷害事件なら見過ごせない。
I agree. I might have slain him if I'd been armed.
なあ、またそう物騒なことを。礼拝堂にでも行って頭を冷やせ。
Good idea. I was surprised to find myself treated so well by Ark. Maybe I actually look crazy to him right now. I turned around to Finn's parents and knelt before them. You don't have to do that. Please, stand up.
いえ、そんな。顔を上げることすらできません。私たちはあなたの家族を、あなたの人生を壊してしまいました。
なんとお詫びすればよいか。ただただ謝ることしかできません。ごめんなさい。本当に。
Finn didn't do it. You have nothing to apologize for. Finn had taken the blame for me. These two hadn't raised a murderer. They'd raised my protector. I wish I could tell them the truth. I took the hand of Finn's mother and thought about the best way to proceed. I forgive you. I forgive both of you. Others will blame you for raising a criminal, but I want you to live a good life. My parents would have wanted that too. Whatever he did later, Finn was good to me for a long time. I still feel grateful to him. Please, don't abandon him. Include him in your prayers.
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
Her voice was faltering. I embraced her and patted her back. His love for me is a crime, but I didn't want to see them suffer for a murder which Finn didn't commit. God, this is such a mess. Like, we're gonna stop here. I went overtime because we had such drama happen at once, but Jesus Christ, dude. I'm like so stressed out. I thought we were supposed to like go to the hounds, but I guess maybe it's different if your partner kills your family. I don't know. We'll see. Next episode, hopefully Finn's parents don't get constantly abused by the public.